Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm working on an interesting sort of note card that I have put together that is inspired by the mood board over at Path of Positivity. Now, I want to kind of share with you through Cricut Design Space how exactly my mind worked through the inspiration from the mood board. So let me bring into view the mood board. Here it is. So we've got different colors. We've got some textures. We've got some colors down here in the fabric samples. We have these sharp angles. We have some scissors. We've got some pencils. We've got some tape. We've got lots of neutral colors, but we've also got some yellows and we've got some blues and a little bit of a greenish blue teal sort of color. So I kind of thought about this, and I've already done one card because we do 2 a month for inspiration. So I'll link the other card also at the bottom of this video so you can see the other card. It's very different than this one. But both cards do have the same kind of color scheme, and it also has sort of the same idea of these sharp cornered angles and rectangles and squares. So let's pull this to the side and let's just take a look here. So I decided to go with these sharp angled rectangles and squares all over because we have all these squares. And I have several layers on this card, as you can see. I have a pencil, which we have over here. I have a piece of washi tape holding it on, which we have some tape here. We have this sort of 3D, kind of three-dimensional texture in these striped lines. I'm going to put those on here with an embossing folder on this white piece right here. I've picked up this dark blue from this little swatch of fabric right back here. I did my sentiment in red. I pulled my red from this little wispy flower. And then I also went with the grays and the blacks and the whites that are here. Now, my font that I used is from Musketeer. And in case you're wondering where that is, if you press on your text, this font comes up and you have a choice of several different fonts in Cricut Design Space. And so then you can just choose the font that you would like to use. This pencil, mechanical pencil, as well as this pattern piece is from Touch of Class from DeCasse's Dynamite Doodles. This blue and this gray are from Floral Cats, also DeCasse's Dynamite Doodles. And then I just cut this one little strip right here. All right, I did that with my Cricut that I'll lay over the top of a white piece, and that'll be then my inside sentiment piece. Okay, so you'll be able to see that when we put the card together. So hopefully this makes sense how I came up with all these different pieces. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the first card I did just so you can see the difference because it's much more feminine. And here's the first card I did for this. So you can see that I have many of the same color ideas with the beiges and the whites, and I brought in a lighter blue, and I actually brought in the flowers then on my first example, and I brought in some of the green. All right, so let's get started on this card, and we'll just do a quick put together at the craft table, and I'll also leave a link to this particular card if you want to go take a look at that or that video. All right, I'll see you at the craft table. Okay, here we are at the craft table, and I have all of my pieces here together in a nice little ice cream lid. I have the inside liner and the outside pieces, and I also have an embossing folder ready to go. Right, we're just going to score this card right down the middle. It will be a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. Now I'm going to take the first layer, and I'm just going to use an ATG and just quickly tape that into place. Next, we're going to go ahead and get out the embossing folder, and this is where I'm going to put those straight lines in. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Calibur machine. I love my Spellbinders Calibur. You can do large things, and that's why I like it, because you can do something that's the size of 8.5 by 11. So now we have those stripes in that we talked about at the beginning of the video, and that gives me that texture that was in the picture. And I'm going to go ahead and layer those onto the middle of the card as just a layered piece there in the middle. Going around the edges with my Copic and just sort of coloring those edges, I decided I wanted my front to pop off just a tiny bit, and I'm not even sure pop off is the right word. I just want it to be supported on the sides because I've built it up in the middle. So I'm taking a little bit of cereal box there, cut little tiny strips, and now I'm going to sort of test it, and I decided yes, 1 layer is enough. I don't need 2 layers. So I set those little strips aside, and now I'm just going to go ahead and put this middle part right into place. I was going to leave it there, but I just couldn't. That was just a little too plain for me. There's my inside liner, by the way. So I decided, you know what, I have to get the gems out. They just have to come out. So I got some black gems out, and I decided I would place 3 at the top. No, I decided I would place 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom for a grand total of 3. And you know, if you watch many of my videos, that if the gems are out, we're coming to a close, and we are. I so appreciate your joining me at this video. If you'd like to see the video on the other card, I'll link it below. I will also link all the products that I used. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.